How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether the price is going up or down. So over on Dixie for the daily, we do have a rejection of our neckline, but I would watch those lower time frames. Our stochastic is pulling back, our RSI is weakening, momentum is rounding away, and that VWAP is trying to break bearish, but is trying to reverse as well. So again, watch those lower time frames. If that VWAP reverses, we could still push forward, break that neckline, and see our crypto pull back. Remember, usually when Dixie goes up, we'd see crypto go down. So over on the 1 hour, we could have a potential flag in this range as we have some consolidation here after a push forward, and that would give us momentum to the upside. Our momentum is in the bearish territory. VWAP is trying to round forward, so keep an eye on that VWAP. If that VWAP can break through that neutral, then we have a chance to push forward, retest that area of that 104.5. Then if we can break that, we could continue forward. But if that VWAP remains bearish, it's likely we will see a rejection as our EMAs are starting to pull below the lower EMAs. The green and the blue are trying to break the yellow. If our EMAs start to crash below each other here, we could see bears gain control and the opposite would happen. So as long as that VWAP stays bearish and momentum remains bearish, that is the likely scenario. I would just watch this consolidation range. So over on Bitcoin dominance for the daily, we did just tear forward as Bitcoin outperformed our altcoins. Altcoins really didn't do a whole lot today, at least not many of the older ones. Stochastic does want to push up, RSI is gaining strength, VWAP is staying bullish, and the momentum is trying to bring that money flow into the green. So we do have some decent strength here. Watch for this to continue. If that VWAP continues forward, we likely would see Bitcoin outperform our altcoins. So over on the daily for our total, we could have a rising triangle here as we have rising bottoms with flat tops. That rising triangle could try to push us forward. So we will delete this double bottom possibility as we do have a break above this neckline or this previous range here. We do have a break above that previous consolidation range. But again, watch for a hold above this. We did reject the top of our golden pocket. If we can hold above this, then there's a chance we will break that golden pocket and push to the 674. If we can break that 674, then we could push to that 743 and possibly get a decent run on some altcoins here. We'll draw this triangle out real quick. It is a pretty long pattern because usually daily patterns are pretty long to draw out. They do take several days, several months sometimes. So you apply from the top to the bottom, that gives you your breakout, and that would give us a break of around 700. We can make this blue just so it's a little easier to kind of see and visualize the difference between this and our different support resistance areas here. So that blue triangle could try to give us a decent run up, and that would be a retest of our previous highs back here from May. So Stochastic does want to push up, VWAP is pushing forward, our money flow is in the green, so we do look positive for a continuation forward. Over on the 1 hour, we do have a little bit of bearish momentum here as that VWAP is starting to pull back. Watch that VWAP very close. If we continue with lower highs and lower lows, momentum will continue to weaken and money flow could go from green to red. Remember, if it goes from green to red and stays, then those higher time frames will start to lose strength. If we round away here as well and make a lower high, this could be a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder that could try to break us down, retest that area of that consolidation range. So again, watch for a bounce off that. If we do get the bounce, then we can continue forward. If we pull back and break, then it's likely we're going to head downwards. So over on Bitcoin futures for the daily, we do have a break of this rising channel. So this is more of a bullish continuation. We did hold above that value area high. We do have some green candles trying to form for tomorrow. So that could be positive to bring us forward. Just watch those lower time frames. Remember, we do have several gaps to the downside. I think there's 4 or 5. Stochastic does want to push up. RSI is gaining strength. That VWAP does have a lower high right now, so keep an eye on that. If that VWAP rounds away here, momentum could start to fall. Money flow is in the green though, so as long as that VWAP stays bullish, we can continue forward. Remember, this is a bullish continuation with higher highs and higher lows that do not connect. Over on the 1 hour here, we do have a little bit of a round, nothing too crazy. We are trying to bounce off that green EMA. If we can make a bounce here, that would give us another higher low, and then we could continue for a higher high. Remember, we said watch around that 74K on our Discord, so hopefully you are there, because then you could have gotten a pretty decent move forward. Our stochastic does want to pull back. Momentum is starting to round away. That VWAP is favoring bearish, so watch that VWAP. If it rejects that neutral, momentum will continue to sell off, and money flow will start to head toward the red. So over on Bitcoin, very similar for the daily. We got that break up. Again, we called that in our Discord, so hit that link to join our Discord. RSI does want to push up, stochastic gaining strength, our VWAP is pushing forward, and that money flow is well into the green. So the daily does look pretty positive here. Again, watch those lower time frames though. Over on the 1 hour, we do have higher lows. Just watch if we start to round. If we break this EMA and confirm, we could reject and continue lower from here. That VWAP is trying to break that neutral. Watch if it can break. If it does not break, it's likely we would get a lower high on VWAP, which would cause price to reject and push down toward our consolidation range where we got that breakup from. We will delete this as we got pretty much the full move. So watch that VWAP close. If the next candle's red and we break that green EMA, then we break and hold under our blue EMA. It's likely we would cascade from there. But if we can hold these two EMAs, we will continue to push forward like we have seen. Just watch because our EMA bands are starting to spread apart very wide. And remember, the wider they spread out, the more likely you are to pull back. Right here, we got pretty wide. We did see a little bit of correction, but we did continue forward. It doesn't have to happen all right away. It does kind of depend on the trend. Sometimes you can get that band to widen and run up for quite some time. Just remember DCA in and DCA out. As long as you're doing that, you should be good. So over on graph for the daily, we'll zoom all the way in. Never mind, that's way too in, so I'll fix that later for this Fibonacci retracement zone. As stochastic does want to push up, that VWAP does want to break our neutral. Momentum is pushing forward with the green dot, and money flow is in the green, so we do look positive. If that VWAP can stay in the bullish territory, momentum will continue forward with that green dot, and money flow could remain in the green, and we could continue forward. Again, watch lower time frames though. Over on the 1 hour, we do have higher highs and higher lows. They do kind of make a straight channel, so I would watch. Remember, that could be a rising channel. A rising channel would give us a probability of breaking down. Usually after the third touch, you would see that breakdown, so we could be trying to invalidate here. We did reject the 300 EMA though, and we need to break that and hold if we're going to push through that 16,316. Otherwise, this could drop us right around that 15,567. Our stochastic is pushing up, VWAP is gaining strength, momentum does want to push forward, and money flow is in the green. So if that VWAP can remain bullish here, momentum will push forward and money flow will remain green and will strengthen higher time frames. So watch very close. The next few hours are going to be pretty important. If we reject that EMA, then it's likely bears would step in. So over on Ankr for the daily, we are seeing a pretty decent round forward here as well. We did get some pretty quick gains in response to that quick drop off from the other day. Stochastic is pushing up, RSI is pushing forward as a result, giving price strength, and VWAP does want to break that neutral, so watch that VWAP. If it can stay above in the bullish territory, momentum will continue higher and money flow will continue to push us up. Over on the 1 hour, we did reject our 300 EMA, but we did end up jumping up, filling a higher gap. We do have some gaps below us. Remember, 80% likelihood to fill a gap. So there is an 80% chance we could drop down and fill those. Not saying it has to happen. Just watch for a continued rejection of these higher EMAs. If we cannot break above and hold, then we are going to break down. Momentum is weakening. That VWAP does want to break bullish, so watch that VWAP. If it can stay bullish and get higher highs with higher lows, then we can continue this trend. But if that VWAP gets a lower high here, we could see another lower low, and then we could continue a bearish trend and start to round away. So again, if you have not, you probably should consider taking profits. So over on XRP for the daily, we are breaking back into our pattern, but with the way the rest of our altcoins look, I would still exercise caution and watch for a confirmation bounce. Stochastic does want to push up, RSI is gaining strength, our VWAP is running up, pushing that momentum into toward the bullish territory, We do have a green dot, and that money flow is in the green, so we do look positive here if that VWAP can stay bullish on lower time frames, and we can continue a bounce off the bottom here. So over on the 1 hour, we did get that retest and continuation, but we're trying to reject our 300 EMA. If we don't break and hold, getting a higher high here, it's likely we would get lower highs with lower lows, and that could break us down yet. Momentum is pulling back, stochastic is trying to push forward, so watch that close. If that stochastic can continue forward, RSI could lead price through that EMA. VWAP does want to break neutral, but it's not very strong right now. I would keep an eye on it. If it gets a weak wave like this little wave here, and then we see a consistent or lower low, then it's likely we would break the channel and then continue lower. So last but not least for ALGO, unless anyone has any requests, we can cover DAG too if you would like. Over on the daily, we are pushing forward, continuing into our pattern. Again, watch for a confirmation of a bounce forward. RSI is pushing up, stochastics gaining strength, VWAP is pushing up, and momentum does have a green dot, so that does want to bring us forward. Over on the 1 hour here, we are running above the 300 EMA, unlike everything else, with higher highs and higher lows, so this is positive to help continue us forward. Remember, you ideally would continue to run up against these EMAs, seeing lower EMAs continue to break these higher EMAs, and then the band could start to spread away. Again, watch as that band spreads, because when it spreads too much, it does tend to crash. Stochastic does want to push up. VWAP is trying to break bullish, but it's kind of indecisive. Watch that VWAP. If we get a lower high followed by lower lows here, momentum and money flow will be at risk of breaking down, and we could reject this area. Again, if we do see that rejection, watch for a hold of that 300 EMA. If we can't hold that 300 EMA, then it's likely we would break down and see this channel still play out. AYE, so we'll get AYE for you, and I'm not clicking the right buttons. There we go, AYE. Sorry, I thought you were calling out a coin there, Fox the Baller, so guess not. We can cover DAG, essentially jumped over to it though. It did run up very quick, that is positive. That does still keep us in our pattern though, so I would watch that pattern. HEY, okay. So, HEY, so, oh, sorry. Must have been a delayed reaction there. Sorry. So, stochastic is pulling back. RSI is pushing forward. VWAP does want to break toward that neutral, and money flow is trying to gain some strength. We could make a rounding bottom here. Just watch our pattern. Over on the 1 hour, we are trying to stay above that 300 EMA. If we can maintain above this EMA, we could see those lower EMAs break higher EMAs, and then we could see them spread apart like we have on ALGO and other coins today. Stochastic is pulling back, RSI is starting to round away, momentum has a double red dot, so watch that VWAP. If it continues to favor bearish here, it's likely we could break that EMA and then still see this pattern in play. So thank you all for watching, hope you have a great night, I appreciate you all, hit the like and